Welcome to Industry Night with me, Nycci Nellis, the show where we go behind the scenes with the people shaping how and why we eat, we drink, we dine, gather, and live the way we do. So today we're back at one of my favorite places to tape. We are here at Equinox Wisconsin Avenue at City Ridge. Now, first of all, thank you again to the good people at the City Ridge for continuing to partner with us and letting us turn this beautiful space into our little hospitality clubhouse. Now, in fact, I just had Eva Cranford from Equinox Wisconsin Avenue on Foodie and the Beast last week. We talked about the Equinox ARC program, which is all focused on women's wellness and longevity. And honestly, I'm gonna sign up because it's amazing. But as you can probably tell, this is not my usual industry night. This is definitely not my look. I'm not in 6-inch heels. There is no cocktail dress. I'm in sneakers and workout clothes. And no, it's not just because we're at a sports club. A few weeks ago,
when Michelin-starred chef Ryan Ratino was getting ready to open up Oxen Olive, his fabulous Georgetown steakhouse. I'm coming up with a name for it because it's not a steakhouse, but we somehow wound up talking less about beef and martinis and more about fitness routines and the discipline and physicality and really how he manages to sustain this level of performance while running one of the country's most ambitious restaurant groups. And honestly, it fascinated me because Ryan is not just one of the most accomplished chefs in America. He's also someone thinking deeply about longevity and health and what it takes to physically and mentally operate at this level every single day. So today's conversation is about Michelin stars and restaurants, duh, but it's also about wellness and recovery, the sustainability of it, and the evolution of what leadership in hospitality looks like today. And honestly, there's very few chefs better suited for that conversation than Ryan Ratino. Ryan is the executive chef and owner of Hive Hospitality, which includes one Michelin-starred Bresca, two Michelin-starred Jaunt, the Michelin-starred Moss at the Four Seasons in Fort Lauderdale, and Michelin-starred Omo by Jaunt in Winter Park. And now his latest and greatest, or newest I should say, Oxen Olive here in Georgetown. He is the recipient of the Michelin Guide Young Chef Award and currently holds more Michelin stars than almost any chef in the country. Wow. But beneath all of that recognition is somebody who still approaches growth with the mentality of an athlete. I'm so excited to have Ryan Ratino joining me today. Let's tune in. So, but beneath all that recognition is somebody who still approaches growth with the mentality of an athlete. So, Ryan Ratino, thanks so much for joining me today.
Of course.
We've been having so much fun. The show hasn't even started yet, and we've been talking about all these things. But I kind of, listen, you were just on Foodie and the Beast.
Yep.
And that, we were talking about the opening of your latest restaurant, Oxen Olive. But we were really talking about your health off air and what you do to be healthy. But I kind of want to start from the beginning because who you are as an individual and what drives you is what drives you as a chef,
right,
which is what also drives you in your health.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to start there and talk a little bit about your humble beginnings and how you got turned on by cooking.
Yeah, I think, I wasn't born into like a crazy cook family, right?
Mm-hmm.
But very working class. And my mother worked every day and would come home and put dinner on the table. So how I started cooking was that, right? Like helping my mother get food on the table quickly because my dad would be like waiting.
Where's dinner?
Where's dinner at like 4:30 every day, like very classic household.
Okay.
But for me, that's where like the food origin started, like cooking started there for me. And then as moms know best, she was the one who kind of was like, hey, you should look at this for a career. Nobody in my family ever did this. It was very much like something that was like intuitive to her, that she saw that I had no idea was even a potential or an opportunity.
But when you were cooking and when you were helping your mom cook to get dinner on the table,
were there things that were exciting you? Were you hungry? Like I'm a food person.
Yeah, same.
Do you know what I mean? So like I was in the kitchen not just because I wanted to cook, but also because I wanted to eat.
Yeah, same. Like you should see pictures of me I was a very chubby young boy.
So was I.
Yeah.
I was driven by deliciousness.
Same. I enjoyed eating. So
yes.
That was also a motivating factor.
Right.
Certainly. You know.
And then once you got into cooking school, I mean, what was it that was really turning you on?
I think the competitiveness. Honestly, like I used to play sports in high school.
What did you play?
Baseball.
Okay.
So I was a baseball player.
You look like a baseball player.
Yeah, well, it's good for me. I'm little, you know. So, but
you could just slide in.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, like small and fast. But I like trained in school, in high school, and played baseball and a small bit in university. And so for me, it was like, you know, that competitive team sport that like drove me a lot. And I'm still that way now, like very competitive. We were just saying it. I want to win, you know? And it's like...
did you know that when you went into cooking school, that you could be competitive?
No, I had
no idea. Right? Because I don't think a lot of
No.
people think that.
Nobody in my family has ever done anything but work in like a labor union, you know, like steel, electrician, all those things, like in a union, LTV Steel, Cleveland Electrical, like union, like all those things. So for me, like my mom was like, hey, what do you think about cooking? I'm like, and she's like, for a career, like for a job. Because at 17 in Ohio, you're supposed to know what you want to do for the rest of your life, you know?
Anywhere
very
else
Midwest.
Too.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. And then, they start throwing all the ideas at you. It's like, my mom's cooking. I'm like, cooking? Like, you can cook for
a living?
She's like, yeah, you can cook for a living, you know? And I'm like, how does it even work, you know? And then in my head, like as a teenager, I worked in like small restaurants and expedited food and like things like that. But I'm like, I don't want to like fry chicken wings, you know, for like the rest of my life, you know? And then she's like, look, you go to cooking school.
Where'd you go to cooking school?
Le Cordon Bleu.
Okay.
So I went to Florida. There was one in Pittsburgh that my family wanted me to go to. It's like close to home. But being like a teenager, you're like, I want to get as far away from this place as possible.
Sure.
So I went to one in Florida. And that's kind of like full circle how we landed back in Winter Park, because I went to school and lived in that area right out of Ohio. And, once I got in there, though, I would say within 2 months, I was like, oh, this is for me.
This is for me.
Yeah, like I knew it. Like just being in that room, being competitive, being around other people, trying to like achieve something, be the best. My dad's always said that about me. Like I'm very stubborn. You know, like if someone told me like you can't, like, hey, you're not going to be able to get that done. Let me get this and like help you. I'd like figure as hard as I could to get it done before he got back there, you know, even at like, so it's like cooking.
I call it oppositional authority disorder.
There you
I
go.
have it. It's self-diagnosed.
Yeah,
that's what I have. It's oppositional authority
disorder.
disorder.
I'm like, no, I got it.
Right.
You know, like, no, I'm going to figure it out, you know? So cooking was like that for me. Like, I'm going to be great at this. Why? Because I just wanted to, I was in the room. Right. So I was going to figure out how to
And
do
once
it.
you're like cooking, you really put yourself, you staged and worked under a lot of great chefs.
Yeah.
Did you create a personal checklist, or did you know what your trajectory was? Like, were you like, oh, well, now that I'm here and I see that I can compete and can compete well, I want to work with the best so I can go higher and higher.
But I've always been like kind of in my head though, like, I don't know how you'd say that. Like I wanted to be well-rounded. So like I would work in a hotel, I'd work in an independent restaurant, I'd work in, because I didn't want to just be like I have team members that come and they've been like only fine dining for 15 years and you're like, you got to move, like, you know, and
you gotta open up your mind.
We got to go, you know, and it's like by working in like say a Marriott property when I was younger, I learned that like there's 4,000 people waiting for dinner. We got to go, you know, and it has to be nice. You know, and then you go stage and
consistent, and every plate needs to look the same.
The same for 4,000 people, and you got to get it done in 2 hours, right? And then like nowadays, you know, you put out dinner for 50 in 2 hours, and you're like, whoo, that was busy. I'm like, you have no idea, you know, but then from there, that's how I then took it and like went to work in like 1-star, 2-star restaurants. We didn't have like a lot of money, so like my parents weren't able to like provide
fund your life.
Exactly. You know, I wish, but at that time it was like I worked in those places to save the PTO.
But you worked at like WD50.
Yeah. So
and
like for
Minibar. I mean, you worked in cities.
For free.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. And like, so I'd save my PTO while working in a hotel
so I could get paid when I went to work in like WD50 as an example.
Right.
So like I would have like 60 days of PTO built up between sick, and I had good bosses that would like let me use my sick time as vacation time, and then I would like save it all up and like go work for free, but I was still getting paid from the hotel. So that like, and I had benefits from the hotel. So
you were
I
smart.
I tried to position it so I could do those things without like running without health insurance for a year, you know, or like I have Crohn's disease and different various like.
When were you diagnosed with Crohn's?
When I was 14.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I always needed to have like health insurance, or if something happened. So it was like not an opportunity to go work for free or like $7.50 an hour back then.
Right.
So like, and no health insurance, and then like you have a Crohn's flare up and you're like, now I'm $25,000 in medical debt.
Right.
You know? So like I kept the benefits from working in the large hotels and used that to then help me like go stage in smaller places.
As you were building your career, at what point did that switch turn on and you were like, okay, I know what I want it to look like. I see it.
Yeah.
To hone your own business. Because you brought up a really good point. You know, I think a lot of cooks think, you know, they cook at, you know, WD50 or they work for Jose, and they're like, okay, I'm ready to do my own restaurant. But they're not ready for the business of the restaurant. You know, they may be able to balance, you know, do the P&Ls and stuff, but like being in charge of people, running the business of the restaurant is a whole thing. So what was that for you? Yeah,
for many years I was just, I'm never going to do my own thing. Like when I worked in hotels and saw how it worked and saw profitability and this and that, I'm like, whoa, you know, like I don't know if I want to do this. And then one day, like I feel like I woke up and you realize like you can learn the things of how to run a business from places that you've been, but also the things you don't necessarily want to do as well as a leader, and turn that into something that works for you. It's not a high margin industry. We know that. Like, you know, it's like
razor thin margins.
That
was like the hashtag of the pandemic.
Yeah, right. I still think you can run like a good, healthy business as a restaurateur. Honestly, I think a lot of people, I mean, just being transparent, like exaggerate it for like some sort of like empathy that, you know.
I'm going to agree to disagree on that. I don't think people are. I think times have changed.
Yeah.
And if you're running the business like you did, then you have a lot to complain about.
You do.
You have to change.
You have to evolve
with the times.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just as every other like sector of the economy, though, right?
Exactly.
Like everyone has to move and be nimble.
I mean, I have had to change my business 6 ways from Sunday in the last 6 years.
And if you're like not willing to do that, well then you have a lot to complain about, right? It's like, of course, you know, but if we all just keep moving and like keep going, I think like you can make it work, you know. And
agreed.
I think like you have to be nimble, and I don't think that's just us though, you know. I think it's just so many people in business. And
so you opened up Bresca with the intention of opening up Jaunt. Can we just, for people who may not be familiar with the two concepts, let's start there, because they really set the foundation for everything you do next.
Yeah, I opened up Bresca when I was 27.
Wow.
So
you were a baby.
I was a baby. Yeah, not a lot of funding, you know, but like we had an old nightclub kitchen as like our starting kitchen.
I remember, what was there? It began with
Policy.
a P. Policy. Yes.
Yeah, and like still my same business partner Asim to this day from the very beginning at Bresca.
But Policy was upstairs, right?
It was 2 stories, so it was like a restaurant and like all you can drink and eat brunch.
Yes,
downstairs.
I went there for an event like in the early days.
That's funny. Yeah,
I think like Bethany Frankel was in town, or I don't know, something weird like that. But anyway,
So we took over the first floor, and then the club consolidated to the second floor. And then maybe a year and a half in, we started the idea of building Jaunt's upstairs. It was like, you know, earn trust. Like I didn't want to I think a lot of people like shoot fine dining first, and then they're like, oh, fine dining is going to like set the foundation.
But here's the thing about Bresca. I mean, Bresca's not fine dining, but it is finer dining.
Yeah.
I mean, it is an upscale experience.
Yeah.
There's a lot of whimsy there. I mean, I would say that's a part of all of your projects. I mean, I haven't been to your ones in Florida, but there's a lot of whimsy.
Yeah,
right?
we want to have fun. Exactly. You know, like I think carry some personality through, you know, and like I love like nice things in my personal life, but I'm also just still like down to earth and fun and like genuine, and I want the restaurants to feel the same way. You know, and I think for me, Bresca was like that upscale cash, like we can build trust in people. Like they'll be like, oh wow, like they're here, like they want to be a part of the community in the neighborhood and like be a great restaurant for a long time. And then it was like come in with Jaunt and like this is where you celebrate, spend special occasions and do things like that. And I didn't want to reverse it. And I think because like I was new to DC. And I think if I had like come up through DC, maybe you can like shoot for fine dining first and then build some casual outpost.
No, but I like where your head was at, because you do need to build in trust.
Yeah.
You know, you opened on 14th Street as 14th was really blossoming.
Totally.
And so it gave you, I think, a lot of opportunities there.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
because the neighborhood is so supportive of its restaurants.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was like a lot of what policy was on the street, like a lot of all you can eat and drink brunches and things of that nature. And then we were kind of like in there early on the, like, you can come here and have a nice dinner, you know?
But not only that, I mean, what I always loved about Bresca is like sitting at the bar.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
I mean, you have an outrageous bar program there,
Yeah,
a crazy ass bar program. But there is a sunniness of the staff. I mean, you know how I feel about the hospitality at your restaurants. I think it's one of the best in the country.
Yeah,
and
thank
it's the sunniness of your staff, from the way you're greeted to the way you're seated. I think actually one time I was in Bresca and they were like, do you want to go upstairs? Like somebody I knew was upstairs having dinner in Jaunt, and they're like, do you want to go up and see them? I'm like, can I?
Yeah,
They're like, of course. And they walked me. Anyway, that's a testament to your team, obviously, and what they're doing there. Okay, why are we opening up restaurants in Florida? What's happening?
Yeah, it's kind of full circle for me. I went to culinary school in Florida, so I've always had like a connection to Florida. With Moss, the team that owns, like Ford Hospitality, the team that owns that, they're based here actually in Northern Virginia.
Okay.
So some of the brothers, and they love Bresca. They've been to Bresca like, I don't know how many times. So when they were building that tower, they were like, hey, would you be interested in working with us on this project? We went down there, we saw it. For us, it was like the first project out of DC, Four Seasons being a great brand to align your brand with.
Of course.
So they were a great partner for us. So we took that project on and did like kind of that vibe that you get at Bresca, like on the ocean, you know, and we were able to like design a beautiful space and cook that a la carte style of cooking. And then we put a small counter in there as well to have some fun and bring something new to the city, which is like expanding outside of Miami big time right now, is like that food growth going like north in Florida. And then I went to school in Orlando. So going back to that Winter Park area was always something I wanted to do. I love that neighborhood. It's like such this little like niche neighborhood in the South. Yeah, it's so cute. And putting an Omo, or like the Jaunt style Omo in there with the salon, it's like approachable, but yet you can celebrate there. It's small, you know, like 36 seats. It's like a really nice like outpost for us to have. And
now that you have this like burgeoning business, you're back in DC.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to Oxen Olive at this on this date that we are doing this show. It's been open, what, 3 weeks?
2.
Okay,
Today's
2 weeks.
day 14.
Okay, I went on day 2.
Yeah.
Which,
crazy,
I mean,
right?
trial by fire. But it was running and gunning. So let's talk about the concept, because it is it's not a departure from your whimsy, but listen, at each restaurant you bring a certain intensity to it, because you're a pretty intense guy.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what you're doing here.
Yeah, I think the intensity or the focus is the beef, right? Like steak, like the beef programs from all around the world. We're using about like 16, 17 different programs consistently. We were just chatting this, right? Like at steakhouse.
Right, we cannot call it a steakhouse.
Beef temple, or like, what is it? You know, it's like,
I know, we have to
beef
get
gastronomy,
creative.
you know?
Right.
But like, it's that like fun, inviting martini, strong vibe, really good energy, like have a classic martini. There's this really strong red wine list, right? And then it's like super centered around cows. I mean, like well-raised, sustainably raised, people that we know who they are, cows, you know, and like they taste good because of that, you know.
I mean, the food is delicious.
Yeah, like all those
I mean, so just to be clear, like I'm such a carnivore, but I'm also an animal lover. So like the reconciliation, because I love cows, they're so cute.
They're
I want
so
to pet
cute.
them,
Yeah,
and I want them to love me, but I also like the way they taste.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
Agreed. You
know?
And that's why we like source animals that are raised well.
Bad day.
They taste better. One bad day.
One bad day. We all have one bad day, right?
You know, exactly.
One bad day.
You know? And but no, it's really fun. Like we're having a really good time with it. It feels good. The you know, like the Natalie nailed the interior design, the energy,
Natalie Park,
the vibe.
she did.
Killer.
Yeah, it's very luxurious and opulent, but not in a way that feels chintzy.
Right.
Because you can.
Yes.
There are restaurants here in this area that like go for opulence, but you're like, that looks like chintz, you know, like looks like you spray painted it gold. I mean, I'm not throwing shade at somebody in particular, but maybe if you know, you know, kind of thing. So I think we can talk about like your intention with Oxen Olive. I think is a great setup. Focusing on the meat, focusing on the dishes, focusing on where the meat comes from, how that relates to your intention with your physicality. Because I find it's really hard for people in the hospitality industry to stay healthy for long periods of time. At what point did you make a change in your health?
I think like the pandemic gave me an opportunity to like step away from just cooking every minute and like look at myself as an individual, as a leader, as our company was poised for growth, and like figure out how do we want to pursue this, right? And I thought in order to be a great leader, I needed to be mentally and physically like a great example for my team, right? And like want to like lead with intention and strength, but also have some sort of, you know, empathy and like grace at the same time.
Well, I do think the pandemic, one of the things the pandemic really brought to the height, I think, for all people in the industry is that mental health is real. You don't just have to suck it up. And I think it opened up the doors for conversation for people, whether it was their physical health, their mental health, all those things. Those conversations are important to make sure a work environment is successful.
Agreed. And I think like and I don't know like how we're not live, right? So I can say what I want, and then if you don't like or want to put it on, but
we're gonna put it on. Go ahead. It sounds juicy.
No, but I think like, you know, like as men, sometimes you're not like groomed to express, you know, like when
emotion.
It comes, like when it comes to like mental health and like how you feel, and like so you're like trained or groomed to like house it, right? Like that's like men's role, like put it on your shoulders.
That's
like,
why y'all have heart attacks. I mean, what do you think?
Exactly.
I mean, there's a reason you have strokes and heart attacks because you don't express yourself.
So you like build it up, you know. So like the pandemic gave you that like moment of like reflection and like brought to light like a lot of opportunity to like, you know, be, you know, find people in your life to like have channels with, you know, and like build your circle and then like use it in a way that's like healthy in order to sustain, you know, especially when you want to like grow a company, especially when you want to like be the best at something. Like all your like top athletes in the world, they go to somebody. Right. Like they do, like, but like that's just access that like most of us think we don't have, but I just think we're not willing to pursue. Right.
I think it's a mix. I think a lot of people, when it comes to their mental health, think, I don't need it. Or I don't need it in that it's something I can work out.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Or I always think like, what would my dad think if I told him I was going to like a therapist and like telling him about my problems? He'd be like, don't be a bitch. You know, like straight up, you know what I mean? That's
we grew up in very different families.
But like, that's that like old school mentality. You know what I mean? And like, that's how, you know, it was. So like. But
look how much you've grown.
Exactly.
And I think what's really interesting is that here you are now, you know, listen, man, you want to be the best. But you don't just want to be the best in your restaurants or the best chef. You also want to be the best you can be, which I think it's a tagline for the Army. But but you applied that same ethos to working out. So how did you? Because we started talking about this. I mean, listen, you look great, but you started explaining like I gain weight, I lose weight, I get muscles, I eat all this, And I was like, oh my God, that sounds like a lot. So you didn't start there. So let's talk about a little bit about where you started and now where you are.
I started just like with looking at like, where am I, right? And at the time I was like, I'm 5'9", I was 206 pounds, you know? So I was at like a 30% body fat, you know? And like, what is that? It's statistically just like unhealthy, you know? Like when you look at it, like it leads to higher chance of heart disease, less longevity, all those things. So that was like the first thing. I was, you know, I'm like, okay, I wasn't always like that. I was an athlete, I was lean, So, but then like work takes over. Like everyone knows, like in every industry, I feel like work can just like take over your life when you're trying to do something.
Life takes over.
Yeah, life in general.
You know,
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
like, I can't do this because I got to do this. I can't do this because I got to do this. I have to
Right.
do this. We all go to bed at night
Exactly.
with our lists.
And I feel like I have friends who have children. Like I don't have any kids, but they're like, you never think you have time until you have kids. And then you find you find time, you formulate time. Like like your kid wakes up at 6:30 in the morning, you're up.
Yep.
Like they don't make breakfast for themselves.
Nope.
You know, and it's like, okay, well if like this person can like find 3 extra hours in the day, where are my 3 hours, right? And it's like, why stay in bed until 10 o'clock in the morning? Get up at 7.
I know, but I really like staying.
I know,
in bed.
you know, it's like, but I started to just like find time, you know, like without being unreasonable to myself.
But did you do research? Like, did you hire somebody? Because the trajectory you are now isn't just about losing 20 pounds. You focused on your density and your BMI, which not most people start with when they want to go on a health journey.
Yeah, I think I started with just like simple like internet, right? Like Google search, like what do I need to be considered healthy? And then you start to feel better. Right. So like body fat starts to go down, you start to lose weight, you're like, wow, my joints feel better. I feel mentally clearer. And then it was like I dug in a little bit more, and then like my general practitioner, I started to question and ask, and then I started to think, well, maybe this isn't the person for me, right? Because I want to go even deeper into this and like not just check my 40 health markers, right? But like what else can I look at? Like, yeah, my cholesterol is fine.
I think that's such important. Like I am in a physician rediscovery right now, given where I am in my life. Yeah. And my current doctors see me for where I am, and I'm like, no, I want to be aggressive. Right. I want way more blood markers. I want to know way more, and I want to be aggressive in how I behave. I didn't get here looking like this, doing all the things that I do to like be like, yeah, that's great. Yeah,
and that was me. Like it was like, oh, you're generally healthy. Like everything looks good, and it was like, yeah, but am I? Like I have this problem. Like my heart rate spikes when I go to sleep every night. What does that mean, right? And they're like,
plus you have Crohn's.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to be really specific.
Yeah, you know, and there were like so many things that they just wouldn't answer. Like, it's fine, you're in a high stress environment. Yeah, okay, but like, is it normal? You know, like I can't fall asleep at night because of literally like my heart rate goes like through the roof back in the day. Like I would research.
Was that how you came down?
It was like a cortisol spike. You know, so like you come down from the day, your cortisol spikes when you lay down in bed because you're finally like, oh, right. You know, and then what can I do to prevent that? You know, and then I like changed doctors multiple times, and now I go to a really fucking amazing, super intelligent gentleman out of Indianapolis, and he was like, that cortisol spike, we can knock that down with phosphatidylserine, and like you take 2 of these before you go to bed every night, and it's going to help like your neuroreceptors. It's going to help build new neuroreceptors. It's going to help prevent cortisol spike. And it's like I'm on I take a lot of like holistic supplementation just for like, he's like, your adrenal glands are barely functioning, you know? And it's like, yeah, well, my other doctor never said that ever, you know? And then you wonder why, like a lot of us, like just in general, like we carry like every human being carries like weight around their waist. Right? Like it's like the hardest, like the hardest place, you know? And it'd be like, I'm like 30 at the time when I started going to him, like 33 years old, supposed to be in like your peak, you know, for like testosterone and like how your body feels. But I'm like, I can't lose weight around my waist to save my life, you know? And I eat well, I run, I lift. And he's like, well, I did like 400 biomarkers in blood work. I've never had so much blood drawn ever. And we went deep in the panel, and he's like, this is what we're going to do. And then we worked on this section of the panel, then this section of the panel, then this section of the panel. And then once we got everything functioning the way he wanted it to be, and he's like, how do you feel? Well, I fall asleep right away when I go to bed at night now. Right? I wake up, I have great energy. Like my brain's clearer than it's ever been before. Now we're just like looking at it every quarter and like keeping maintenance, you know, because we like got the adrenal glands like functioning, like the GH levels in the body, like you like push the pituitary gland a little bit. All that shit I only learned because I went to him. Right. You know, like I'm not
you
doctor.
Can't find that out on your own.
It's crazy, you know.
When you started the weightlifting,
you didn't just do it to be health. I mean, what you're doing now is a little different than health. Like, I would like some definition. Like, I have a little definition in my arms. I have a little 2.5 pack, right?
Yeah.
But you want definition. You are looking for some physical features, which require way more direction,
right,
and consistency.
Yeah.
So can we talk about how you put that plan in play? And I want to talk about how you're eating, because that's a real dedication.
Yeah. Here at Equinox, I use Kevin, my trainer.
So shout out Kevin.
Exactly.
Woo-hoo,
right.
Kevin.
So we train every week, you know, and like he builds my programming, and then also like helps me with my nutrition and things like that. But the biggest factor is like, I went all the way down to like a very lean percentage of body fat, like sub 10%, in order to kind of like see where I was at. Like, this is my shaping, this is my positioning. I had like no lats, you know, they were like, okay, we need to work on your like back width, you know, like no lats, and then I started to climb, right? It was like, I took it all the way down to see where I was at. So then we had like a frame to build off of. And then I went into like, essentially, like, it sounds so gym bro, but like a bulk. You know, I went into a surplus, and then I stuck on that. I've done it now. I've done 2 cycles like that. So I surplus for 5 to 6 months, and then I come back to like lean out the body fat again.
So what does that do? You're like fucking with your muscles?
You're recomping. Yeah.
Okay, right? Like, you're like, I'm building you up.
Exactly.
And then I'm going to take you down because you're going to get stronger from it.
Exactly. Like, you're like bulking out in the surplus, putting on muscle mass. In that process, because you're in a surplus, you're for sure going to gain some fat. That's just like part of it. You kind of have to be like mentally prepared for that. That's the hardest part for me.
I was going to say, that sounds like a real mental mind fuck. I don't think I could handle that.
The hardest part is like, and you can do it clean and slow, which is what I've chosen to do. So I don't like lose my abs. Okay. Like, he's always like, if you just dirty it up a little bit, you can get so much stronger. And then I'm like, yeah, but then like my lines go away. And he's like, yeah, for sure, but they come right back. And I'm like, not once I got it, you know.
It would not be a chance I would take. Exactly. I'm totally with you.
So like, I take it slow, but I go into surplus, and like, it's hard. Like, I mean, you know, for a while.
And let's talk about what you're eating.
Yeah.
You know, while you're saying all this, you know, like, I've been pregnant twice.
Okay.
And I worked out throughout both pregnancies. I was very fortunate that when I got pregnant with my first physical child, that working out was like just becoming more pushed for women, because 4 years earlier, like when my first friend got pregnant, they told her not to work out. And when I got pregnant, I said to my doctor, I was like, I mean, I work out. And they're like, listen, back then they were like, don't get your heart rate over, it was like 140.
Got it.
But like, if you work out all the time now, they're like, yeah, work out. Like, your body knows what you're doing.
I had no idea.
There was a real change.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't get on the scale ever. That's my mind issues. So I haven't been on a scale and know what I've weighed since I was probably 19 years old.
Okay. Yeah.
So, you know, when I go to a doctor's office, or when I was pregnant, I was like, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
But your body does what your body does. So I gained 50 pounds with both pregnancies.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and then but I mean, I'm not going to pretend it wasn't work afterwards, but I had the foundation. Yeah. Because I ate right most of the time and worked out.
I think the body's like such an amazing machine when it's like well oiled, if you will. You know, it's like, once you get dialed in, it's like today, if I want, I can gain 2 pounds like overnight. Like, I can.
Me too.
It's so, you know, but like I can
gain 10 pounds. So I can up you on that.
It's like,
I can be better than you,
that's
Brian.
Right? Like, I could like eat enough rice today to like fill my body with so much glycogen, which then stores water. Right. And then gain 2 pounds, and then 72 hours later have it all gone.
Wow.
You know, and it's like, I think once you get to like a certain point of like dialed in, the diet controls everything. Right. You know, and that's when I'm in a surplus, I'm eating like 300 grams of protein and 450, 500 grams of carbs every day.
So what does, I need to visualize that. How much protein is that? How many chicken breasts is that? What are we eating?
In a day, like 6 chicken breasts. Sometimes.
In a day?
Yeah, in a day, like 6 chicken breasts, or like sometimes like a couple pounds of beef and 2 chicken breasts.
I mean, you do have a lot of beef near you.
I do, I wear the t-shirt every night, eat more beef, you know. But depends on like you know, sometimes your mind just gets like bored. you know, so you're like, fuck, chicken breast again. Then
Right.
you like don't want to eat. So then I switched to like ground beef, ground turkey, taco style, or go to like London broil, rump roast, whatever I need to, you know, like leaner cuts, and like bounce back and forth. But I was eating I eat like over a kilo of cooked rice every day.
Wow.
And like, I think
Is
how
there a specific rice?
I use short grain, right? Like Japanese short grain rice, like something that I like know the source of, no chemicals, things like that. But like how you eat is also really important, and something I've learned like a lot in the last couple of years from my trainer, especially. It's like by ingesting protein first and then your carbs, you can like lower your insulin spike from eating all that rice.
Okay.
So like the blood sugar of going like a roller coaster is
Right.
what like stores fat on your body, because your body has to like constantly release the insulin to like keep up with like processing all the carbohydrates, which then can turn into sugar, right?
Right, which
So-
can also is what leads to that emotional drop.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. And like too many carbs and like my brain gets kind of like, it's
Sure.
wild, but like it's okay for me, you know. But in general, it's like when I eat the protein, I've worn like the stick, like the sticker, you know, where you like check
that
your
tells
blood.
you your sugar.
Exactly. So like as long as I put protein in my body first, like I eat a whole chicken breast and follow it up with 200 grams of cooked rice, my blood sugar barely moves. If I just go straight to the cooked rice with no protein,
Forget it.
it's like, boop,
No,
way
I
up.
totally get that.
Yeah.
Because most days I fast.
Okay.
It wasn't intentional, but now
Yeah.
it's how I live my life.
Yeah.
But I always make sure whatever I put in my mouth first is protein.
Yeah.
Just because I see what happens.
It's crazy.
And I don't
Right.
always get that luxury. Like sometimes, I mean, people like me to eat. And
Oh,
they
of
like
course.
to feed
Yeah,
me
so-
all the
yeah,
time, which
yeah.
I'm very
For
grateful
you.
for. I know. I don't say that as a complaint.
That's funny.
But you know, I don't have as much control as I would like all the time. But
Yeah.
I can't. So here's my big question for you, and then we're going to go upstairs and do a little working out.
Yeah.
You're so like what you're doing with your health is a full-time job.
Yeah.
The working out, 90 minutes a day, the diet and being on it and managing it, like that's people's like that's a job right there.
Right.
Where is the time for your other job within
right.
that?
For me, it's like now that I've gotten to this point and I feel so good that I just don't want to lose it. So it's just become like my lifestyle in a sense, you know? So two things I'm uncompromising with are my sleep and my food. So like I try and get in bed before, I mean, it's like before midnight is a really good hours for a chef, you know? So if I'm in bed before midnight, 11:30, asleep, then I can get up at 7:30 every day. My restaurant's open at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Right. So
when do you like to be in by?
Like 12:30.
Okay.
You know,
and I didn't even think to ask this. I know you have an amazing team.
Yeah.
I know you have a new restaurant.
Yeah.
But once everything is humming,
yeah.
where are you?
Between,
Where do you want to be?
Yeah.
But where do you need to
between
be?
like Jaunt and Oxen Olive, like the Jaunt building or Jaunt Bresca, same building, so I
Right.
can see both. So I just bounce between those two buildings, and in probably like another month or two, I'll be able to bounce between those two buildings rather than just be at Oxen Olive, you know, because it's the legs.
Are you running?
A little, yeah. I do the in between.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. I run here sometimes. I don't live far from here. So
Well,
like,
I'll be honest with you. I walk here sometimes.
Okay,
And I'm in
yeah.
Kensington.
Yeah.
So like that's, in fact, like when I was driving here this morning, it's like, it's going to take you an hour and 10 minutes to be there. And I'm like, yeah, if I was walking. But
Yeah.
my
I
phone
like
is
walk.
used to it.
I'm a mile from here. Like not even.
That's
I'm like
perfect.
7/10 of a mile from here. So like I'll jog over here some mornings, but I have like 5 hours a day of like to myself. You know what I mean? Like, and if you will, I mean, I have like things to do, but business meetings, things like that. But like 7:30 in the morning, up. I get outside, I like tend to my plants, I love my little garden and stuff, and like get some sun on my skin and like drink my coffee. And then I come here, do my 90 minutes, sometimes 2 hours, depending on like what day it is. And then I'll go home, do some weighted cardio a few days a week with my vest, and then eat like a haul. Like usually like my...
So do you eat before you go into work? Do you eat at work?
Yeah, I pack like a lunch essentially.
Okay.
So like right now I'm in a deficit, like, but not in a major one because I'm working so much. So like I'm trying to get leaner, but I'm not trying to like be tired all the time and like low energy because we just opened a restaurant, you know?
Yes.
So like I take my chicken or beef and like I right now I'm eating like 4 or 5 chicken breasts a day with like three or 4 sweet potatoes.
Okay, but I have to ask. And now I know the menu is set, but like, don't you need to taste?
Yeah, I honestly I'll spit a lot of things out. Like I'll like taste something and spit it out, like a wine tasting. You know?
No,
Taste sauce,
I
spit
think
it
that's
out.
brilliant.
Yeah,
I
like, won't-
applaud that.
Yeah,
that's so smart.
Because it's so many like added calories in a day for
Yeah.
me, and it's like I'll taste every sauce, but I won't eat any of them. You know, and like the beef, I don't know. I mean, with you know, but like yeah, overall, like I'll taste everything, spit it out. You know, I stay like satiated through like slow digesting carbs right now, like sweet potatoes and just like chicken or sweet potatoes and beef, and then like, keep it
What
rolling.
is it about sweet potatoes? Why are they so magical?
Yeah, I, from what I understand, it's just like that.
It's like the perfect
fiber
carb,
and
right?
carbohydrate, exactly. You know, and the way your body absorbs it is slow, and it stays with you a long time. So when you're in like when you're in a deficit, you can really like stay satiated longer, and that's like my goal right now. So you don't like, because if I try and starve myself, which I've tried, you know, like you go like I'm gonna eat only 1,000 calories, you know, it's like then I binge.
Yeah,
like,
of course. Well,
it's
because
like,
that's not good for your mental state. Like,
At all.
I think what we're talking about here, I want to talk about how this leans into leadership.
Yeah.
Because you're very in control, right? Now, we can't control all things at all
Of course,
times,
right.
but you are very in control of your health and your health journey.
Right.
Just as you are doing the best that you can to control the chaoses that
Yeah.
are your businesses.
Yeah.
How does that apply to leadership? Because you are the leader, not only in your personal life,
Right.
but for all these people. How many
Yeah.
people are under you now?
Yeah, like over 200.
I mean, that's a lot to lead.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've all seen people in this industry who lead well.
Yeah.
How do you take on that role, and how do you take on from your health journey into leadership?
Yeah, I think like the discipline of like health and wellness helps in the discipline in like your career, right? But I also think like the cleaner my mind is, I guess, like the clearer my mind is, like the leaner I feel, the better I feel, the better my thinking is. I can lead with like more grace than just like attitude or anger, you know? It's like when
Do you think that's changed for you?
Yeah.
During this health journey?
For sure.
I mean, because I know you're very driven
Yeah.
to be the best.
Yeah.
And it's very important. I think given all the news out there over the last couple of years about people behaving badly in a variety of ways, just because you expect a certain level doesn't mean that level shouldn't be attained.
Yeah.
But it's all about how you go about doing it.
You can do it with respect, you know? And it's one thing I've always felt that way. Like you can be a strong leader, but still like respect your team, you know? And like everyone has, I think a lot of people have their moments where you like, you know, but lose it or you come back. And it's like always for me important at the end of the night to like thank my team, say good night to my team. When I get there, I say hello to every single person. And it's like, it's a thank you and it's genuine because like, I know it's hard, you know, so it's like every night it's like, hey, thanks for tonight. Great work. You know, like we're going to do it better tomorrow, you know, but like, thank you.
It's so important.
You know, it is, you know, and I think like, even if in the moment I'm like, why would you do that? Like today, like boom, boom, boom. Why are you making all that noise? Like you got to be, you know, and then at the end of the night, I'm like, hey, you know, like that's just all because I want to help you get better. But like, thank you.
Sometimes, and I mean, listen, we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
People under us make mistakes.
Yeah.
It's okay if you say to somebody, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
In service. And then after service, be
Yeah,
like, maybe that wasn't the best way to correct it.
And it's
you know,
like,
like it's okay to come back and apologize.
And it's like, you know, I respect you as a human being, you know, and, and like I want you to succeed here, right? And it's like really important to me. So, and it's like important in building the longevity of our teams too, that they know that like I care about them as people. We're not just like employee-employer relationship,
right?
You know, and I think they know that, you know. But I do think like the health and wellness journey has helped make that more clear, you know, because like I can respond better to like pressure in scenarios, but 100%. It's not even remotely close.
I think that's great. All right, so I'm gonna get to see some of your workouts, right?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go upstairs.
Let's go.
Okay, great. So, okay, you're going to show me some of the things you do to work out.
Absolutely.
And I feel like these are probably the ones you love the most. So what are we doing?
Yeah, so I'm going to do chest today, so bench press.
Okay.
But typically before I bench press, I love to use dumbbells to kind of like open up my chest and engage my back a little bit.
Okay.
So
how do we
what
do
we'll do is like kind of stand with like your feet centered.
Okay.
And then I'm going to turn this way so we don't hit each other. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I like to do kind of like almost like a shoulder fly, like out. Yeah. And I'll do like a set of like 20 of these.
Okay. And how are you? So you bend?
I do a little bit, and then you keep your chest out.
Okay.
So that way you're really like engaging your back and your shoulders. And then, exactly.
Okay.
And like the idea here is the bench press puts a lot of pressure on your shoulders. And then it opens this up a little bit, so like I don't want to get hurt.
Right.
You know, like prevent myself from getting injured.
Which is such a priority.
Seriously. Yeah, especially like when I want to show up to work every day. So I usually will do this like in between each set. I'll do like sets of these until I feel like.
How many are we doing? How many do we just do?
I don't know.
All right.
But we're going to keep. Well,
okay, so we start with
do
these.
6 more.
Okay.
Ready?
1. Oh my God. All right. 5 and 6. Okay,
and then you
great.
can like, but you can feel it like.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And like kind of like warms up, and then I'm gonna warm up here as well.
Okay, so let's talk about this and what you're doing here.
Yeah. So like barbell bench press for like building pecs, right? And
but
just
it also, does it just build pecs? Because I feel like this is the area.
Exactly. It builds a lot of like front delt as well. So like in the shoulder, and like for me it like engages a lot like of the side as well. So like I'll go from this into like pec flies.
Okay.
Once I feel like my chest is really warmed up. Exactly. But I think like for kind of like general volume for me, this is like a driver for building like from like my chest up into my shoulders is like flat barbell and then also incline.
All right, well let me see you do. What are we lifting?
The weight?
Yes.
Little.
Okay.
135.
All right.
Warm up.
All right, have a seat.
Yeah.
I want to see what you're doing.
So.
Okay.
The same thing, like the reason I like doing the flies or like the shoulder flies is to like engage the back a little bit, because when you're bench pressing, the more engaged your lats are, the stronger and like more stable the lift is. So
okay,
like,
I'm going to back up a little bit. So I assume this is really good for your back.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. And then this being like for me, this is just like a good weight to start, because you just have like a lot of control in the lift, right?
And you always have your arms where they are.
Yeah, so I like to lift with my thumbs not closed, which is like, they call it like suicide grip, but like I don't like the feeling of like the closed grip. When your elbows pinch in to like help prevent, when you fly out, your shoulders feel so much more pressure. So by pinching it in, you keep it all focused on your chest.
And like I assume you want to do it at a pace.
Exactly. You want to like have some like control coming in, so you can like feel the stretch in your pecs and like work like slower twitch.
So that there's more struggle going up, right?
Exactly.
The struggle
like,
is
I like
the up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Want to do it? We'll take the.
We'll
change it. We'll change it. Want to change it?
Yeah, let's change it.
Yeah, you should do it.
Okay.
Like, good?
Yeah, I don't think I can do more weight. I think it's good.
But the control is good, you know, like.
Okay.
Exactly.
So how many of these do you normally do?
In a day, like I'll put in like 150 reps.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'll go like up from like the 135 to like 295.
Okay.
Yeah. So like
how much weight am I lifting?
45.
Okay.
Yeah. It feels good though.
Yes, it feels good.
Yeah.
It is heavy, but I did it.
Yeah, it's awesome. But I think
great.
it's like a lift that like is intimidating.
Right.
For some, because it's like just so exposed, you know, like I fail all the time on this thing.
Sure.
That's why I have a trainer who just like picks it up.
Yeah, picks it up. It's like, let me help you out.
Yeah, that's why I'm there, you know. But like, yeah, I think it's a good like volume builder for your chest and like general strength. And like I like to use it in like high reps, because also like I'm not very flexible.
Okay.
So I can get like really deep and like help. Yeah, exactly. Like I think like that's probably like my weakest.
Well, honestly, I was going to say, and then we can finish it up here, but flexibility and balance are so like two markers that people really forget when it comes to working out.
Yeah, like me, like I'll add certain lifts in just to like expose for like range of motion, even
Right.
if they're not heavy, just to like open my chest up, like, because
Well, I stand like this
yeah, balance is like
all the time,
crazy.
just as a way to constantly maintain my balance.
Yeah.
Because that is something I don't want to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like the more you read and learn about like longevity, it's like the biggest thing when balance goes,
So does everything else.
literally.
right.
Yeah, it's huge.
All right. Couple of quick rapid fire questions. Let's see. Which ones do I want to ask you? Coffee.
Black.
Before or after workout?
Both.
Both?
Honestly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Restaurant you wish you could have worked at?
Echabari.
Where?
Echabari.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in Spain.
Fair enough. Oh. One exercise you secretly hate?
Oh, Bulgarian split squat.
What?
I hate it.
What is it?
Where you like have your leg up behind you holding dumbbells and you're like squatting with one leg.
Okay, I hate it too.
it's
I've never done it, but that sounds terrible.
Fucking terrible.
Okay. What's your ideal day off?
Oof. You know, nowadays my ideal day off is like sleeping in until like
You're like till like 7:30.
yeah, I was gonna say like 8 o'clock, you know, and then coming to the gym, spending a good couple hours here doing sauna afterwards, like some really good recovery for my body, and then having a nice dinner out, you know, where like somebody else that I
is serving you?
is cooking for me. Yeah.
I love it. And what would 20-year-old Ryan think of your life now?
Yeah, I think proud but not satisfied.
Okay.
You know, proud of where I'm at, but know that like, you know, at 20 I was probably even more crazy and driven than I am now. So it's like just continuing to watch me grow. But yeah, I think proud of where I'm at, but not satisfied.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Thanks for
course.
joining me.
Thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
Do you see my guns? If you're watching on YouTube, you can see my got some guns, a little bit of guns. Oh my God, what a fantastic and fun show today. That was a new high for me, doing something completely different on today's Industry Night. So of course, I want to thank Equinox Wisconsin for hosting this podcast again, and the City Ridge Development, who has always generously hosted this show at all the different properties here. Don't forget, you know, there's a Taco Baba here, there's a fabulous sushi restaurant here, and a Wegmans. So, I mean, I know where I'm going after the show today to get some lean protein, as Ryan Ratino suggested. I really hope you enjoyed the show today. I think we talked about some really interesting things, not just about how a high-level hospitality restaurant group works, but how Ryan Ratino, who runs that Hive Hospitality, that high hospitality group, what he does to function at that high level and then lead his team that way as well. I thank you so much for joining me. So follow me at NYCCINELLIS on all the channels. Comment. Ryan wants to hear what you have to say. Subscribe, do all the things. And thanks so much for joining me. I'm going to go work out. Be safe out there and have a delicious week.
Produced by Heartcast Media.